So the first thing we need to do is to make an assumption, which is that the demand we have follows a normal distribution. That will allow us to use the most common framework for inventory management, and this might not be the case, in which case it might be a good first approach to the situation, and we might need to go deeper into characterizing our demand and to do an analysis which is more powerful. But let's assume for a moment that our demand follows a normal distribution. So if we have our demand for all the 8 weeks we have here, we can calculate first the average of those these 8 values, which for the case of Massachusetts is 39.3, and the standard deviation is 13.2. We can do the same for New Jersey, and we have this average here and this standard deviation. So those two values for Massachusetts and these two values for New Jersey are those that we can assume are the values corresponding to the means and the standard deviations for the distributions both for Massachusetts and New Jersey. So that would be the case, or that is the case now, where they have two different warehouses. But if we had just one warehouse, the demand we expect for that warehouse to fulfill is the summation of those two values. So for the first week, we would have had, instead of 33 items shipped from Massachusetts and 46 from New Jersey, we would have had, if we had only one warehouse, 79, which is the summation of both. And the same goes for the 8 values we have corresponding to 8 weeks. So we might think of a normal distribution for the demand for this single warehouse, which means is this average value for these 8 observations we have, and the standard deviation is that we can estimate using the standard deviation for these 8 values. So what we can see here is that the variability here is 13, measured in terms of standard deviation, is 13 and 12, with average that are close to 40, whereas what we have is a standard deviation which is 20 for a mean which is close to 80. So the relevance of the uncertainty compared to the mean is lower. The fact is that we expect that the variability of the demand of Massachusetts and the variability of the demand in New Jersey do not follow exactly the same pattern, and we have less variability or less relative variability of our demand when we have one warehouse compared to the demand, and that allows us to have a more efficient management of our inventory, which will lead us to having less safety stock, and we're going to see the numbers immediately.